So, every single day I have conversations with brand new real estate wholesalers because they join my TTP coaching program, and one of the most common questions that I get on that welcome call is, Brent, I'm going to take this serious. I am going to really commit to this business. I know that this can be life-changing. I've looked at this. I've watched you for the last year, 2 years, 3 years. I've listened to the podcasts. I get on the live shows. I know that this is what I want to do. I know that this business is incredibly life-changing. But tell me and be honest with me, Brent. What makes people really make it in this business, and what makes people fail in this business? I get this question all the time, guys. I really do. And it comes down, just to put this very, very simply, and then I'm going to expand on this because I think that it's absolutely critical. There is a big difference between wanting to do something and it must happen. Okay, wanting to do a real estate deal, wanting to do a wholesale deal, that's fantastic. That's like having passion, right? But that can be a flash in the pan. That like easily gets eroded through rejection, through feeling like you're on an island by yourself, feeling silly that you're starting this real estate business when you don't have any friends or family that are in the real estate business, right? That want is great, but that it must happen. That's the thing. That's what sinks the anchor into the ground. That's what really starts building that foundation. That's where you have that burning passion and desire and purpose to be able to do this business. It's not just passion. It's not that flash in the pan. It is in there. But that's just kind of the thing that gets you started and gets the momentum going. It's the purpose. It's the reason why you're doing this. And I get it. You know, listen, what's your why and all this things? You know what your why is. Your why is because you're wired this way. Your why is because this is who you are. If you have enough self-awareness to know that you want to be a real estate entrepreneur, that's enough of a why. I'm telling you, of course you're doing it for your family. Of course you're doing it for freedom and control and all that. But mostly, it's in your DNA. Your just brain is there. Your brain wants this, right? Your brain must have, not even wants it, sorry. You must have this. You must not let somebody else control your schedule. That is the biggest difference. It must happen for you. I must change where I am financially, or what position I'm in, or what's going on in my life. I must be successful. I must be a beacon for hope for the rest of my family. I must be a magnet for my friends and loved ones to show them that through enthusiasm and energy and positivity and optimism, you can go out and really make a difference in this world, right? That's what's so exciting. That's the foundation of the difference between rich wholesalers and poor wholesalers. But let's get tactical. Let's get tactical here. Let me break this down into 3 things so that you can really sink your teeth into it. Because listen, up until now, this is all cerebral, right? This is all mindset. This is all just me talking about, oh, it's a want versus a must, and there's got to be this burning purpose and going after it because we're really feeding into our true DNA, our true brain that is so excited about being an entrepreneur. But let me give you some real tactical steps here. 3 tactical steps, okay? Number 1 is you got to focus. We talked about it last week. I'm going to talk about it for the next year. I am telling you this is so critically important, is to focus. All right? In our business, there are so many unbelievably seductive strategies. Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's creative finance. There's development. There's fix and flip. There's building a rental portfolio. There's commercial properties. There's apartments. There's all these things. But if you're starting out and this is your first year in real estate, you need to focus on ugly houses and big checks. That's it. Ugly houses and big checks. Build up that bank account. Build up your resume of successes. Build up your experience. But if you're focused on if you're unfocused and you're all over the place, it doesn't work. focus. That's number one. Number two is, can you survive the first 90 days? Woo! This is the chopping block. This is the thing that, oh my gosh, we're going, and can we stay on this treadmill? Can we run for that 90 days and stay focused and keep pushing the ball down the field? God, there's a lot of analogies going on, Raph. No, but honestly, can you get past this first 90 days? I'm telling you, you start building in to your you start taking action and building that action into your business, into your life, into your schedule for 90 days straight of consistency. It becomes a habit. It becomes your life. It becomes what is part of your everyday, right? That is what's critical, is that first 90-day survival. And the last one is, do you have a real business? And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying that you go and you read Traction and you get EOS and you do all this visionary versus implementer or integrator and all this other thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking like down to the core. Do you have a business? Do you have an LLC or a corporation? This seems to be a weird hurdle, weird challenge for a lot of people. A lot of people get started and they don't really put together a business because they're not really sure if this is a must. It's a want. I'm going to go out there, but is it a must? Like, you're going to put together a business, a corporation. And let me explain something. You can look at you could Google it, you could YouTube it, you can look at everything when it comes to creating a business. It is America's hack. It is America's wealth hack, is to own a corporation. It's without a doubt. Without a doubt. Let me break this down, but first let me recap right here. All right? Look at this. Rich wholesalers. You focus 12 months, ugly properties, big checks. 2, 90-day survival. Can you be consistent? Can you be proactive? Can you build this into your schedule for the next 90 days? And 3, is this a real business? Are you setting up a real business? It was really interesting. I went down the rabbit hole on this thing. I went down the rabbit hole of what a corporation is. Why is it around? Do you know why it's unfair? Do you know why? This is the real life thing here, right? Employees, and this is Rich Dad Poor Dad. This has been taught forever. This has been, there's a bazillion YouTube videos and podcasts on this. But employees, you earn, you get taxed, and then you can spend the money. As a corporation, you earn, you spend, and then you get taxed. And this is typically 20 to 50% of the income gets taxed before you see it. And then as a corporation, you earn it, you spend it, and then you get taxed. This is what the wealthy do. This is real business. This is setting this up for the future. This is keeping more of your money. But why would the government do this? Why would the government allow, it's obvious. This isn't a surprise to anybody. This isn't a mystery to anybody. Why would the government let us do this? Because we are a free market society. What does that mean? That means the government doesn't tell us what goods and services we can have. The free market does. If you want to create a t-shirt company, if nobody likes that t-shirt, you're out of business. If everybody loves that t-shirt, you turn into Supreme or whatever. I don't know. But it's a free market society. So with the free market society, so that we have the opportunity to have choices in our lives, the government needs to give benefits to companies, because companies make money and they employ people. Well, if we have a free market society and companies employ people and those employees pay the taxes so that it goes to the government so that they can fund everything that they want to do and keep this society moving and growing and evolving. Because the government isn't going to hire everybody. They want to give business owners all the benefits so that they don't have to run businesses. They're not equipped to run businesses. They want us to create businesses so that we create jobs so that taxes get paid to them. It's genius. It's absolutely genius, but it's only genius if you set up a corporation. We talked about it last week, and I promised that I'd bring on a special guest to be able to talk about this, and I'm about to bring him on, Tommy. He's going to come on from Prime Corporate Services. It's going to be bananas. He's going to answer a lot of questions that I have about this. But listen to me. This is where we live, okay? We live in a free market society. We have to set up a corporation. You have to set it up so that you take advantage of it. Now, listen. I don't want this to be a creative avoidance. I don't want you to not do business, not go out and talk to distressed property owners because you haven't had your company set up yet. But you need to get it set up. And it's scary. It's like, what do I do? What's the paperwork? How do I know how to select it right? How do I know? I mean, there's like a 1,000 different questions that kind of run through your head. I've always had my accountant put these businesses together. Now it's Prime Corporate Services. It's phenomenal. But look at this. This is what's crazy. And this is just for everybody that has a 9-to-5, a W-2, whatever, right? Employees, you go 5 months, January to May, working. And I'm not talking the beginning of May. I'm talking the end of May. That's what you work to pay taxes. And then what people do is they get in debt. Student loans, mortgages, car payments, credit cards, right? And that takes up another 4 months. So in real life, W-2 employees get 3 months to save and for lifestyle. Isn't that crazy? And with the money to happiness ratio being at $75,000, $85,000, how do you build wealth? It's crazy. So if you don't have a corporation, you got to set up a corporation. It's absolutely critical. And again, going back right here, the rich wholesalers do these. They focus, they get past the 90 days, they survive it, and they build a real business. They set it up. And with that, I want to bring on, is Tommy ready? Tommy is ready. All right. Let's bring on Tommy with Prime Corporate Services. I've got some questions for you. Tommy, how are you, buddy?
What's going on? I'm good. How are you doing?
I am excited. I'm excited to have you on here. Pace, Morby, Jamil Damji, you guys have just been, I mean, I can't stop hearing about you guys and what you guys are doing for their community and what you guys set up. You guys literally have free consultations to speak with aspiring entrepreneurs to help them set up their business right? Do the paperwork, file it, do all that stuff. Right? Is that
A to Z? A to Z. I love what you said as well, because the tax code truly is a game. The better you understand how to play that game, obviously, the easier it is to win, right?
Yep.
That's the point that you're driving home as well. So yes, A to Z, everything on the entity setup, whatever you need based off of different, not all entities are set up equal. So let's make sure that one, you have the proper entity for your situation, but two, let's make sure it's structured properly as well.
And let me ask you, when you guys typically, as you're setting, and this is just broad strokes, you don't have to give specifics, but people in the real estate community, because you guys have set up over, what, 100,000, you told me this morning, 100,000 businesses?
Just past the 100,000 marker,
Six figures of businesses that you guys have set up in real estate. What are people, like, if people wanted to do this on their own, what is the process there? And then if they didn't, we'll obviously give the link and put it in the description here on how they can get a free consultation with you guys. But what does that process look like if people are just like, you know what, I'm going to try this on my own?
Yep, there's a couple different options that you ultimately have. You can do it yourself. You can go to one of these online services. You can hire an attorney. But that's where it can become overwhelming and confusing as well, right? So regardless, every state is a little bit different. You have to pay the state fees and the filing fees to make sure that you're set up properly. As you obviously know, we have worked out a deal to where you still have to pay the state and the filing fees, but excellent discounted rates for the entire community included with that free consultation. But not only pay the state and the filing fees, but make sure that you're structured with the articles of incorporation, the operating agreement. Let's make sure you get that EIN number so you can get away from having to use personal information, right? So there is quite a bit that goes into it.
What's an EIN number?
Yeah, employer identification number. It's like the social security number for your business.
So you get a new social security number essentially, but it's for your business.
Absolutely, yes.
And this
There's
is what the
also
government's going
ways
to be
we
looking
can.
at when you file taxes.
Yep, the way that I like to explain it, everyone has a legal name, a social security number, and a credit score, right? What we like to do is help them understand how to do the same for their business. Let's name it, get the EIN number, and we could even talk to you about how you can build a separate credit profile and build some business credit as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Love it. Well, and that's huge. I mean, we don't even talk. I mean, I didn't even talk about business credit, right? I didn't even talk about, I mean, I talked about some of the tax benefits, obviously, but building business credit to where your business is actually getting loans to buy property.
Right.
Isn't that wild?
For sure.
You know what I mean? So when real estate entrepreneurs come to you, Tommy, do you look at every situation different in each state, and you figure out what the costs are? Like, what's the average cost to set up a business, a real business, and work with professionals like you? And then what does it typically cost if people just do it themselves?
Yeah, great question. Everyone's situation is different, not only on a personal level, but every state is also a little bit different as well. So there's a couple states that are as low as $50 to do it yourself, and there's some states that are $600, right? Nevada,
California.
Massachusetts, California can get expensive as well, but there's things that you can also do to get around that. California has some COVID things right now to where they're waiving the $800 annual fee. So the more that you understand how to play that game, once again, just like the tax code, the easier it is to ensure you're set up properly.
What do you guys think that you guys have learned the most after setting up 100,000 businesses, over 100,000 businesses? Like, what is there something that you're like, okay, we've got this down, or so it's just like you got almost like insider information, or is it just, we know how to make it smooth and get it done fast? Like, what have you learned after 100,000 businesses?
Two things that I'd like to go with this. The first thing is, these can be extremely complicated topics and extremely overwhelming. So we try and simplify it, right? At the end of the day, we want to be able to show ourselves as a legal business.
Yep.
We want to make sure that we have tax benefits, and we want to have the protection. We want to separate our personal and our business.
Love it.
So if we simplify it, I think that's important. As far as the complexities are concerned, operating agreements are really the heart of your entity itself. Make sure that you're set up properly for what you're going to be doing. You don't want to have a real estate LLC that's structured for an online business or an e-commerce store, right? Make sure you're set up for what you're doing so that you're able to accomplish the protection, the tax benefits, and legitimizing yourself as a business. So
love it, Tommy.
The complexity is the operating agreement.
Got it. Alejandro just informed me we got a couple questions for you from our audience, which is fantastic. Before I get in there, just operating agreement. I'm a little confused there. I mean, I've been through it. I understand it, but it took me a long time to really figure out what the heck is an operating agreement, how to put that there. Like, what does that mean to a person that's just a one-person owner, like a solopreneur, you know what I mean? Or somebody that maybe has just one partner. Like, what does the operating agreement actually do, and how do you know how to set that up right?
Yeah, here's what I think is also important before we get into the operating agreement is what the IRS is looking for is that you are showing the intent to treat this as a business.
Right.
So even if you haven't done your first deal, there's a lot of additional tax benefits that you can take advantage of without even making money in your business. I think that's important to understand, right? So with that being said, the operating agreement is going to be state specific. Every state is different as far as what you need to make sure you're protecting yourself. And the rude reality is, it's such a sue-happy world that we're living in. but we don't want that to deter us from taking action.
Sure.
So having the substance of the operating agreement to show yourself as an investor is very important if something happens that is a worst case scenario. So good or bad, profit or loss, we want to put you in a better position.
I love it. I love it. Alejandro, hit us with some questions. Are they going to pop up here? All right. Give us a second here, Tommy. Here we go. This is from Michael. If you wholesale using your LLC, how do you pay yourself?
Yes, great question. So based off of your income level,
but go ahead.
Yeah, this is okay. It's a great question as well. I think this goes back to, if you can build business credit, the more that you want to do is separate your personal and your business, right? So if you can use business credit, let the business pay for itself and then pay yourself from there, it's an organized flow of income that also tracks your expenses from a tax standpoint. So yes, to answer that question in short, Michael, it's a great question.
So let's say you don't have business credit. Let's just say you make big checks, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're getting that $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Are you taking it as an owner draw? Are you taking it as, what do you take it as?
Yeah, there may be a conversation here as well that, do we switch you over to an S corporation, or do we change your LLC so that it's taxed as an S corporation, and that way you can pay yourself a salary or a distribution, and avoid half of your self-employment tax as well, which could end up saving 7% of that net income right off the top. Huge advantages.
I love it. You know what I love about this, Tommy? Like, you're saying stuff and I'm like, wow, over my head. I am just, just let these guys set it up. I'm serious. And this isn't just a plug. It's just like, I want to stay focused on finding deals, right? I want to stay focused on going out there, hitting the streets, being proactive, finding opportunities. I don't want to go through 20, 40 hours of studying and reading books on LLCs, corporations, getting it all set up, and then, trying to figure this out myself. I'm just not going to do it. I don't know if other people like that, but that's how I feel about it. I want to keep the engine running. I want to be generating leads and opportunities, not stuck, in just the creative avoidance of trying to figure out everything that people already have it figured out. So Raphael has a question.
I got a question. Do you guys also work with businesses that are standing right now, that are already been registered, current LLCs, and come in and then take a look at what they have existing? I mean, I know that's a question that's going to pop out for a lot of students. So.
Yes, great question. We're more than happy to do that. I mean, the first thing that we want to do is let's review that you have the proper entity for what you're trying to accomplish. I think that's important in any setting. So we're more than happy to do that. And then from there, let's make sure that you're not leaving money on the table, you're maximizing your deductions. Absolutely, to answer that one in short.
Love it. Do we have another question, Alejandro? All right. We got a lot of questions. Can I have more than one EIN number?
Absolutely. Yes, there's plenty of entrepreneurs, and Brent, I know you're shaking your head and laughing over here.
Yeah.
You can have multiple LLCs, you can have multiple corporations, you can have multiple EIN numbers, and that's an excellent strategy to accomplish some anonymity and privacy and some additional protection as well.
How often do you see people coming to you guys after buying rental properties and putting those into LLCs?
It happens often, yes. Like you said, Pace was talking about you a lot, and we just helped Pace's sister, something similar, right? Some people are, for those of you that already have real estate and momentum, that's great. Let's go back and make sure you're protected and that you have these tax benefits. But whether you are brand new and haven't done a deal, or if you're doing multiple deals a week, we can absolutely help give a little bit of guidance in regards to the asset protection and the tax side.
Love it. Awesome. What else? Tommy, and thank you. nobody. Tommy's at a conference right now. Tommy's going to be speaking. He snuck out into his room just for this show, so I really, really, really appreciate it. Duke Allen asks, how long does it take to get good business credit? What are some ways to build the business credit?
Yes, great question. So a lot of times there's companies that'll tell you they can get you business credit. It ends up running off of your personal credit right away. So be aware of that, right? When we build business credit, we want it to be more long-term. So it does take a little bit of time. It isn't rocket science. It's just a process.
Yep.
And we've really dialed in that process for you to be able to follow it. We're usually looking 3 to 6 months is a realistic expectation. So it is a long-term play. Business credit is one of those things. It's better to have it and not have to use it than not have it when you need to use it or if you need to use it. So it is something we want to plan ahead of if possible.
And in the current financial situation that we're in this country, are banks excited about entrepreneurs? Are they excited about business credit?
Funny that you ask. When COVID first started, there were actually more favorable towards personal lines of credit. When COVID started to roll out, we really noticed a shift of banks willing to lend more to businesses than individuals. So it totally depends on the landscape of not only the economy, what's going on in the world, but banks are always going to be shifting and changing what they're willing to lend for. So we have an excellent team that tries to stay ahead of that on a quarterly basis to make sure that our clients are maximizing on not only their lines of credit, but interest rates as well.
Love it. Love it. We got 2 more questions for you, and then we'll let you go. I know that you got to make a big impact. Where are you at right now? What city?
We're in Nashville. It looks like I'm at my grandma's house with these curtains behind me, but we're at a Marriott in Nashville currently.
Nice. You're at the you're at a conference. That's fantastic. So Edgar asks, Amigos, can Prime Corporate Services help with setting up an LLC that is owned by a self-directed IRA that I am about to open?
No problem at all, Edgar. Easy stuff. Make sure it's set up properly for that IRA. I say easy stuff because we do it all the time, but as far as setting it up is concerned, let's make sure that the language is being spoken within the operating agreement to show that that is what you're trying to accomplish.
Will we make sure, guys, can you put in the links to Prime Services in the comment?
I have
the old one's fine. The old link's fine. Yep. There it is, right there, guys. If you guys are interested, it's a free consultation, right?
Free consult, 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So just make sure you schedule a time that works for you. If you already have things in place, like Raphael asked, make us aware of that when we jump into it. But we'll go over your situation, where you are currently, and obviously what we recommend based off of the entity structuring, the business credit development, or the tax filing.
Will you guys put it in the comments as well, please? Okay, we put it in the comments as well. Last question for you, Tommy. I have a Georgia C-Corp because I want to set up a health plan for family future employees. Can I do this with an LLC? Anthony Russell asks.
Yes, excellent question. That is an option. One other thing that we do, Anthony, and you may be interested in, is we do some estate planning as well. Trust, wills, living wills, power of attorneys. So this is doable. This is absolutely obtainable. But this may be worth a future conversation as well to make sure you have a game plan for not only where you are currently, but where you're going to be in 5 years, 10 years, moving forward as well. We also, on that link, we did primecorporateservices.com/TTP. We also changed that link on there.
We also have one with TTP. That's even easier. Yeah, I saw Wholesaling-Inc. and I love that, but it's long, man. TTP is easy. So, yeah, if you guys just want to put in the TTP, either way, it gets you there. Check it out, guys. Seriously, I mean, worst case scenario, Tommy, somebody doesn't want to work with you. What are they getting out of that 45 minute to an hour?
Free consultation.
Yeah.
Free consultation. No problem.
Awesome. Tommy, thank you so much, brother. Good luck out there. Crush it today. I love bringing on pros to answer the questions. I mean, those questions, I couldn't answer those questions. That's what we love. So, Tommy, thank you so much. We're going to have you back on for sure, brother. I'd like to do this every quarter to really, it is so critical. And I'm sure that you guys see this because you guys have done it 100,000 plus times. But the difference in life when you become a business owner, the difference in your income, the difference in your assets, the difference in what you take home to your family and long-term wealth is undeniable. It is undeniable. It is so incredible. So, guys, make sure that you get in there and check that out and set up a free consultation with Prime Corporate Services. Thank you, Tommy.
Ugly houses, big checks. Thanks for having me.
That's it.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank you.
See you, brother. That's it. Ugly houses, big checks. I love that. Listen, guys, we are off and running. We're 31 minutes in here. We got another 90 minutes on this show. We really do 4 things, okay? We give you the tools and resources to go out and take action in your business and start earning income. Pull it out of the air right now by being proactive and having that confidence to get the tools and resources. We obviously do question and answers for most of the show, which is absolutely incredible. I love the interaction. The show does not happen without you guys. You guys are incredible, and I love you. And number 3 is we celebrate. We celebrate successes. We ring that bell, baby. We celebrate when you have done a deal, when you have sold a deal. So make sure that you put it in here. Because when you put it in here that you're having success in this business, guess what? The 4th thing happens, and that's squatting up. That's building your network of people that understand this business, that speak this language, the language of real estate wholesale. It is so critical that you surround yourself because you're going to have conversations with family and friends and loved ones and about how excited you are about wholesaling real estate and being a real estate entrepreneur, real estate investor, and you're going to physically, literally see their eyes gloss over as they slip away from you mentally because they have no idea what you're talking about. And I know you've had these conversations before, and I know that you've experienced it. But this show is not complete with the incredible crew that I have here. I've got Matt behind all the computers, making sure that we can get out to as many people and it's as clear as possible. We've got Aaron working on the audio and lights and everything, and it's amazing. Those two work hand in hand. We got Alejandra, who you have to sweet talk because she picks out all of the comments. And then, of course, we have my man, Rafael Cortez, my personal genius here to round out all the technical, all the analytical, all of the processes, the procedures. This is the guy that built my CRM to run almost like an artificial intelligence.
Too kind.
It's
Brent.
the truth.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. I'm
Always
excited.
happy to be here,
I'm
brother.
excited for this show. I think we're off to a fast start in the first quarter. Here we are in the second quarter. So we're going to open this thing up. I want questions. I want comments. I want celebrations. I want this to be the best show that's ever happened in the existence of real estate investing today. But it only happens with you guys and your participation. So let's get going. I'm going to put this up just so that it's sitting there. That's what rich wholesalers do. Don't forget that. Take a screenshot of that. Go back to it. Really put it into your mind. If you are the owner of a business and you have people in your business, I'm telling you, if you've got a wholesaling business and your acquisition managers are doing all sorts of different type of techniques, you are losing out in 30%, maybe 50% income this year. Just telling you. You got to focus. If you want to build your portfolio, hire somebody to build your portfolio on your team. Don't let it be your acquisition managers. Don't let it be your disposition managers. Don't have them doing everything. Have them focus on ugly houses, big checks. If you're building a wholesaling business. If you're building this business to build your portfolio and doing all that, I love that. You still have to find ugly houses. Right? So build a machine for that and then hire somebody specifically that can be your portfolio builder, that can be your project manager, that can take all of those. You can hire out those roles and really increase your business. But if you have a wholesaling business that's bringing you a ton of income, this is an ATM machine, this is a money machine, this is a cash machine. Stay focused. Ugly houses, big checks. And if you're just starting out, 90 days, fight it. Fist fight. 90-day project. Consider it a project. I love that word. Project. A project makes it sound fun. A project, it seems like, oh, I'm going to get into this thing and then something else will happen. It'll evolve into something else, as opposed to a 90-day challenge. 90 days, whenever I get that like 75 hard or 90-day challenge, I instantly shut off. I don't know. I know there's a lot of drivers out there that are like, oh, I'm going to do it. I need to be aggressive. I need this negative language to come into my life so that it pumps me up. That's not me, bro. That's not me. That's not me. I know it's probably you.
No.
You love those challenges.
No, I'm with you. I like the challenges, but here's the thing about a project, right?
Yeah.
I think, we both identify with this. We're both creators.
Yep.
We have the opportunity to create something. When you have a project, you have the ability to create, right? When you have a challenge, and this is perception. It's just perspective, right? But when I have a challenge, it's something that's already there. I can come in and then crush it and do my thing, right?
Love it.
But I love creating, and creating is more enticing and drives me a lot further than a challenge. So,
how much is that deal you closed this week?
First deal of the year, we locked it. I think it was on the 2nd.
2nd of January.
2nd of January.
Okay.
Yeah, and it came in at, after double closings and fees and whatnot, it came in at $21,000.
Why'd you double close it?
Just because of a seller situation and keeping both parties separate. One of those things.
Just keep it smooth.
Keep it smooth.
A lot of title companies don't do double closings or double escrows, I should say.
Double escrows, yeah.
Was it a double escrow or double close?
No, double escrow. Yeah.
So you use the funds from your buyer to pay your deal, and then you were on title for 30 seconds.
About 30 seconds, if that. And then all we had to handle was just, and it didn't come out of pocket, it just came out of the proceeds, right?
Yep.
Paying the closing costs for that second leg of the transaction. That was it. But yeah, sometimes then just keep it clean on both sides and prevent issues with the names and whatnot.
Yep.
You'll get that seller like, this needs to have your name on it.
Right.
And if it is, it goes.
Well, 21,000. You're gonna warm us up here, Raph. Here we go.
Well, let's go.
Probably should have had you ring it yourself. You're sitting across the room. But here we go. Let's open this thing up. Let's crack this thing open with questions. Let's do this thing. Oh, and by the way, JC, I'm telling you, bro, I'm on like a volume training right now. It's gonna be bananas. Watch it. This is all natural, baby. I don't even take creatine at this point. Anyway, I'm spiraling. Yeah, sorry.
He doesn't.
Anyway, thank you, JC. I appreciate that. Every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I have a coach. I have a trainer, and I'm telling you, I mean, I don't do anything without coaches. I don't do anything without a mentor. I don't do anything without somebody pushing and being there. I want to show up to exercise because I would feel bad if I blew them off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's huge. I think everybody in here has a trainer, which is great. So.
Yeah, you also have 100 of those shirts. So
we have TTP
shirts.
I mean, worst case scenario, we cut off the sleeves.
Yeah,
let's go.
That's it.
Let's go. This is Phoenix. We live in Phoenix. It's 80 degrees outside.
How
you doing? How you doing? It's sunny, 80 degrees outside. I'm wearing shorts right now. No. Anyway, sorry. Alejandra's giving me the look. Ugly house, big checks. That's it. Derek. Oh, it's too many words. I don't like a lot of words on my stuff. I like letters. So maybe it'll be UHBC. Yeah, UHBC. Maybe we'll do something like that. Maybe that'll be a special edition, same font box, UHBC. Thank you, Derek. I'll consider it. We'll see what Alejandra comes up with. She's got it. She's already designed it. Are you kidding me, Stephanie?
Twins.
I closed a 21,000 deal on Friday. Super ugly duplex, locked up for $100K, sold it for 121,000. You know what the best part about this whole sentence about you putting this on here, Stephanie? I closed. Closed, baby. That means you received that $21,000. Congratulations. I love it. Look at this. Come on. That is bananas. I love it. Congratulations, Stephanie. Why are you looking at me like that, Matt?
Is that bell sounding funny?
It sounds funny.
Yeah, I heard it yesterday.
Who's messing with my bell?
No.
Somebody's messing with my
we're
bell.
gonna have to get you a bell.
I think I might have smashed it too much.
Brass bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you I've been waiting for one to drop down from the ceiling so that I could ring it, but it's maybe in the new studio. Yeah, in the new studio. Okay, here we go. What's next? What is the best wholesaling course to teach beginners? Well, it depends on if you are coaching them or if you're learning it, Daja. I assume if you go to ttpinsider.com, we've got a free course there breaking down the process, really explaining what happens there. And then if you want to take it to the next level, then that is the TTP coaching program. And that's where you're thrown in the mix with a community of absolute killers, absolute superstars that are taking action all the time. And if you're interested in that, ttpcall.com. But if you're just dipping your toe in, I get it. If you're just kind of wondering what that is or what wholesaling is, and if you really want to commit to it, then go to ttpinsider.com. Yeah, ttpinsider.com. And then if you're interested in the coaching, ttpcall.com. There you go. And by the way, there's unbelievable resources for free in TTP Insider. All right? Awesome. When do you decide to go into another virtual market, Paul? So you're saying another virtual market there, so I'm assuming you're already in a virtual market. If you're in a virtual market, then you should have the processes and procedures. It's just copy and paste. But let's Raf, give me some insight here, because you've done business kind of all over.
Yeah.
You've been experienced all over. You've done virtual a lot. So when do you decide to expand? Let's say that you're not. Maybe you're in a market that's, Southern California, Manhattan, Miami, Seattle. Some of these that are just the average price points are bananas. You've got people that, sitting on a lot that's worth $1 million, so they know, there's typically not a tremendous amount of opportunities in there, and you want to go somewhere else. How do you make that decision? What do you do?
I think it comes down to what you want, right? Pick a goal, pick a target. How many deals do you want to work on average a month, right? Figure out if your market sustains that. And one thing that I always talk about, and I always teach the students is set up a backbone market. You got to have a backbone market, a market that you understand in and out. Somebody gives you an address, you're able to figure out the price points and offers and estimate right from your head, because you know that market that well, right? That's your backbone market. And then if you're going to tap into a virtual market, run it by the numbers. Make sure that it's sustainable. It's somewhere that you can actually drop a campaign to, but run some research. Do some market research on that area before you start spending money on anything like in virtual markets. And there's different ways.
Research?
The breakdown. We use ListSource. We go to ListSource, and then you can pull data. I think there's videos of breakdowns you have on your YouTube channel. I have some too, but it's you figure out how many buyers. The price point that you want to play in. We like to play in price points that are under the $400,000 mark. It used to be $250 to $350. Now we bumped it up to $400 just because price points. We'll see that. We'll see a market that's big at over $100,000, or I'm sorry, over 100,000 in population and ownership, absentee owners, type of stuff. That way we can throw some marketing campaigns into it and some dollars and have some sustainability, right? Generate deals in there. But figure out if you have enough deals in your backyard, understand this: the bigger you get, the more deals that you get through the pipeline, the more headaches that you're going to have, right? So control growth is crucial for business, especially if you're running a real business like we talked about earlier. Control growth is going to be like the key. Okay, so don't look at this process of dropping into different virtual markets just for the sake of doing so. Figure out if your backbone market doesn't sustain that, then look at alternatives. Pan out, see what you can do elsewhere and whatnot. But focus on your area. Figure out if that sustains the amount of deals that you want on a monthly basis. If your operation can actually take that and process it, be efficient with it, and then look at growth and tapping into different markets.
What is your video on ListSource? Because you can do it for free on ListSource to pull that data.
Yeah.
What is your video called? We'll try to put it in the comments here.
I can't remember the title of it.
Okay.
I'll pull it up right now
All
and
right.
I'll drop it in the comments.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. There you go. Yeah, and again, if you're expanding, just make sure that you understand when you're going into a new market, it takes 6 months. It takes 6 months. Let me repeat this: 6 months to understand values, to build your buyers list, to get a good rhythm of lead generation, so that you have enough for your team to be able to successfully get them under contract. So 6 months, 180 days. All right. Awesome. There you go. Edgar knows how to play the game. I love Alejandra and Raphael. So do I, Edgar. They're the best. Awesome.
Just for that.
Yeah. Oh, here we
Edgar's the
go.
best.
Yeah, there you go. Edgar asks, Amigo, what would be the minimum tools that I need to start wholesaling? Listen, minimum is your voice. I mean, your voice, your legs, and your ability to knock on a door. If you really want to start with absolutely nothing, you can simply go around to every ugly property that you see, knock on the door of that house. If they don't answer, you knock on the 2 neighbors next to them and the 3 across the street, and you just say you're interested in doing something special with this property, and would they consider an offer on that house? And that's how you start. If you really want to get into the nitty gritty and not have to do a lot of if you can't catch them at the door, which most of the time you won't, I'll just tell you from personal experience, you're going to have to call them. And if you call them, you're going to want to get all the owner information. To do that very easily, I would get Deal Machine. Deal Machine is a driving for dollars app. You literally just drive around or walk around or bike around or skateboard around. I've had a student in Seattle that made $100,000 on skateboarding for dollars with the Deal Machine app. So dealmachine.com, and make sure that you use that coupon code TTP. It's the biggest discount that they give. They love you. They love this. They love the audience because we stick around with their business, so they give us the biggest discount because we're the most serious. It's awesome. So yeah, that's what I would start with. It's $50, $60 a month, something like that. 50 with the discount, and you can get rocking and rolling with that. And then obviously batchskiptracing.com for all of those addresses. Batch Skip Tracing, that's where you're going to go to get the accurate phone numbers. Now, I love Deal Machine, and they will do the skip tracing for you in the app, but the data is better with Batch. They just are. This is what they do. They pull it from the best database. So there you go.
One other thing,
Best databases.
Tying it back to virtual, you can do virtual driver for dollars.
Oh, yeah.
With the application. So
Yeah,
I don't know if you mentioned that. But
We've got a video here.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
so that's another benefit of it.
Look at that. I just got a text from my wealth manager. Excellent. Miguel,
Nice.
I have a contract signed for a three triplex tenants haven't paid rent in the last 6 to 8 months. Served tenants with 60-day notices, currently in the process of leaving, but are angry. Tips. Miguel, listen, the biggest tip is empathy, for real. Like, just put yourself in their position. They're getting, kind of, if they weren't paying their rent, they knew that this was going to happen, right? It's just they're living in denial. And so just explain to them, the owner of the property is selling the property. And here's legally what we're doing so that you have enough time. The government gives you enough time and protects you enough so that you can find a new place to live and start fresh. So just one, it's your tone of voice. It's the way that you act. It's the way that you pull back on your emotions. I mean, keep the emotions there with the empathy, but in the front of your brain there, really work to communicate effectively with them when they need to be out and what the consequences are if they don't get out. And most of the time, your tone of voice and you being like upfront with them is going to win the day. So listen, you're not. They're going to be off. They're going to be living their life. They understand. They knew this was coming. They knew this was coming. You can't just live for free in a house. You just can't. You know what I mean? So just over communicate with them. Go with a lot of optimism and a lot of empathy, and you're going to win. Good question. Happens to us all the time, Miguel. Every week we're dealing with that. Michael asks, is the contract with a realtor assignable? Well, just look for the language, Michael. If it says that it's not assignable, then it's not. But talk to your title company or real estate attorney in your state, because I'm not a real estate attorney. But I know that our realtor contracts in Arizona are assignable unless they specifically say that they're not. So I would and this is a 3-minute call to your escrow officer, and let them deal with it. Let them answer that question. Listen, the paperwork, the deed, all of the heirs, if you're buying an inherited property or a probate property, all this can be handled by your escrow company or closing attorney. Like, let them do their work. Let them do their job. Our job is to make it as smooth as possible for this distressed property owner to sell, and a wonderful experience for a cash buyer to get a discounted property. That's what we do. So focus on that. And then build a team around that, and a really core part of your team is that escrow officer and title company. Luis asks, do you need more than one operating agreement if I'm wholesaling in 2 states? I have no idea, Luis. I don't know. Do you know?
Yeah, I think you need one per LLC.
Right.
It defines the use. So if you have multiple LLCs, then you do need multiple EINs and operating agreements. But I would ask Prime Corporate Services. Go to them, find out. Yeah, get it from the guys.
Yep. There you go. And listen, they'll answer that in the free consultation.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it either way. I mean, they're going to try to sell you, obviously, and working with them. But I love being sold, and I love people working for me. I just do. So there you go. PropStream versus Flipster. Which software is more effective? Asked by Travis. That is excellent. I've used PropStream a lot. I've promoted PropStream a lot. Obviously, in non-disclosure states, it's been real hairy because they got rid of the sold data. And in about 25 minutes, 23 minutes, I'm bringing on Ivo Dragunov, the owner of Batch Leads, to talk about data and getting MLS comps and getting the most up-to-date information, kind of clear the air on some stuff. We're going to also do a podcast tomorrow talking about it. But listen, I use PropStream every single day to comp properties for my students. We've pulled untold amount of lists from it. Flipster is Jerry Norton's software, and I've never used it. I've just never used it. So I know that a lot of people do. So I would see if they have a free trial and see which one you'd like the best and which one has the best data. Latron asks, Brent, what do you think about wholesaling in a small market as your backyard compared to moving into a bigger market? I would assume he's saying both. I think both. I mean, here's the thing. When you're being proactive, Latron, you're going to run out of lists.
Yeah.
You can go, what I would say in a small market is I would find the worst houses in the market, and I'd be obsessed with them. And I'd do everything to reach them. I'd mail them, I'd text them, I'd call them, I would knock on their door, I would do anything. I'd put door hangers and flyers. I would just try to get a hold of these property owners any way that I can. But at some point, you're going to have to expand your market because your business is going to grow. You're going to do that 2, 5, 10, 15 deals. You're going to make that $100,000, $200,000, $250,000, and you're going to have to expand because you want to grow the business. Now, if you just want to be you, if you just want to be that self-employed, go out there, eat what you kill, don't build systems, just go talk to people, get these opportunities, keep the money all, and build your business that way. I know people that do that. And I know people that are very happy doing that. They don't want to be a leader. They don't want to hire people. They want to keep all the profits. They love the action. They love going on appointments. They love looking at these opportunities. So it just depends. Have that self-awareness to know, do you want to be self-employed or do you want to be a business owner? Either way, you have to set up an LLC, a corporation. But which one are you? It's okay. Not everybody thinks that you have to be like Bill Gates or something. You have to be like Elon Musk and be this big entrepreneur when you really should just get on the phone every single day, crush it for 3 hours. And perfect example of this is Monique Walker, who does a lot of business with Jamil. She's one of the top real estate agents in the country, one of the top agents in Phoenix, and she grinds every single day. She has like one person on her team, 2 people on her team, and she absolutely dominates. She goes on all the listing appointments. She gets all the deals. She makes all the calls, and she makes millions of dollars and loves that because she doesn't have to worry about everybody else. She just crushes. So who are you? Who do you want to be? Like, honestly, some people need to just be the superstar. You know what I mean? Some people just need to be the MVP and stay on the court all the time and not be in the box, the owner's box. Like, just depends on what you want to do.
An issue with staying on small markets is it's consistency, right? You're not going to have the ability to be consistent. The ability to be consistent is not there because the numbers are not there. So you're going to go through the marketing process, and if you're dropping, campaigns for absentee owners or whatnot, like you're going to run out of people to market to. So that consistency can dwindle, and it's an issue. It's an issue because the amount of deals is not going to be sustainable either. So it's a challenge. I think it's good for single, solopreneurs and tapping into the markets and owning that. And eventually, if you do it for long enough, you're going to become the person in that market. Everybody that knows that you're the guy or the gal to go to and then sell the property in that area. But to build something that has some legs underneath, you're going to have to tap into numbers. Yeah.
Awesome. Crushing it. Joshua, how many times do you go through a list before pulling a new one? 2 to 3 times. Usually 2. The reason why is the contact rate drops after the second time. I mean, it's just a weird, I don't know if it's like psychological. I don't know if it's just people answer more the first time you call them versus the second or third. Like if people don't answer numbers they don't know, they don't answer them, but some people do. So after the first 2 times, it drops off significantly, and I want you to take advantage. I want you to have as many conversations as possible because conversations equal deals. Deals equal income, right? So the more people you talk to, the more income you make. More people you can help. Awesome. Joe, as I am starting to build my wholesale business, what are some KPIs to track in order to scale my business? Well, you have come to the right place, Joe, because I've got a wild man here that loves KPIs. So, Raph, why don't you, I'll say what I've got, what we're tracking, and then I'll let you really take over here. Basically, when you're starting out, Joe, I want to know how many hours that you are prospecting. How many hours are you actively lead generating? Okay, that is really important. And then how many contacts how many people are you talking to during your lead generation? All right, from those contacts, how many leads did you get? And from that, how many appointments did you go on? And from those appointments, how many contracts did you get signed? And how many of those closed? So I'm going to write those on the board as Raphael takes over here, but that's what you're looking at. Keep it very, 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 very simple, Joe. I am telling you, I had this conversation with a really smart Omari. I talked to him this morning, Alejandra, and he was talking about tracking and scoreboard and everything, and he was talking about getting a business coach and all these other things. And I said, listen, this business is simple. This is a really simple business. The people that complicate this business make the least amount of money. And I make a broad term, and I don't know if people get it or understand it or understand where it's coming from, but I say the dumbest people in this business make the most money. I'm just telling you, you can track it and do it and keep it very simple. What I mean by don't overcomplicate this. All right, Raf, talk to me about your KPIs.
So we keep it simple. I mean, we track 6 major things. One is going to be the reach, right? The amount of people, especially if you're a solopreneur, you're launching, whatnot. You still got to measure these things, not because you're going to be delegating or anything like that yet, but because you got to have self accountability. And when somebody gets plugged into the business, you gotta know what to hold them accountable for, right? So we'll track the reach. We'll track the contact rate. So how many actually, if we reach out to 1,000 people, how many people do we actually connect with? And then out of those connections or conversations, we'll track the leads. This is people who are interested. And then how many of those leads turned out into prospects? So the reason we have leads and prospects is because when you're gonna have a ratio, right? You're gonna have, if you spend, I don't know, $1,000 reaching out to 1,000 people, you're gonna have an idea of how much you need to spend to get a certain amount of prospects. So those are the lead sourcing or lead management KPIs that we track. And then on the acquisition, we'll track offers sent, actual offers. We used to track appointments. We don't track appointments anymore. We'll track offers, written offers sent, not verbal offers, but written offers. Now a lot of people do them over the phone, do them over Zoom calls and whatever. But if you send a written offer, that counts. Nothing else counts. And then of course revenue brought in. So those are the numbers that really just guide us through the effectiveness of the beginning stages of the company. But yeah, those are the 6 numbers that we track. And then if you want to get really crafty, you can throw in a lump sum of expenses and factor in your cost per deal. So
Love it.
So those are the 6 that we're tackling on a regular basis, and keep it at 6. You don't have to get too crazy. If you really want to get a full list of KPIs, I have a download that we can send them to, and I mean it's a breakdown of the process. So,
love it.
Yeah,
Love
so
it.
we can get in that. We'll drop a link.
See, I like the appointments, Raf, just because I want to know how people are doing presenting those offers. I think we're saying the same thing when you say how many offers did you present and how many of those did you actually get under contract. But I want to know, this part right here is really interesting if you've done everything else right but you can't get the contract signed. That means that there's something happening beforehand. You're not getting enough advanced agreements. You're not pre-qualifying those leads enough so that when you go out, the appointment, the offer presentation should be a natural closing to this process. It should be a foregone conclusion that you're going to get this contract signed. Now, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes you get the curveball. Sometimes my acquisition managers, or I would back in the day, go on these appointments just because I wanted to plant a seed and just, somebody couldn't communicate as well over the phone or they were being short. So I wanted to get the body language in. I wanted them to see my eyes and see the way that that level of communication on a deeper level. And that's what my acquisition managers, Ryan and Chad, do as well. But I want to know what's happening here. I just don't want to send an offer and hope that it gets signed. I want to convert these, and it's a big process in the second part of our business, which is conversion. So something to look at there. But if you're just looking at it and you're just getting started, the only thing that you should be tracking is this. Not only, but this is what you should be focusing on. These first 3 right here. How much work are you putting into your business? If you're part-time, 20 hours have to be your minimum. I'm serious. You can find 20 out of 168 hours that we have every single week. You can find 20 hours to go after your dream of being a real estate entrepreneur and having control of the next 70 years of your schedule. Right? So it's tracking when you're actually working, when you're actually having those conversations, having contacts, getting leads, and getting contracts. All right? Keep it simple. Awesome. I'm going to put this back up. Hold on. Sorry, Matt. What's the next question?
Do we want Evo or are we waiting?
He's coming in at 10 minutes. Okay. Evo's in 10 minutes. Batch leads, owner of batch services, batch leads, batch skip tracing, batch driven. Anything else? I think that's the 3 main, right? Do you still use PropStream now since January 1, Brent? Yeah, Jared. Yeah, I do, but it's brother, you know as well as I do. I mean, do you know how many incredible wholesalers are in Texas? Non-disclosure in North Carolina, South Carolina, all of those non-disclosure states, it makes it really, 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 really difficult to comp. And I comp for the students. I've got some in here that are probably frustrated with me that I haven't got back to them yet, but I certainly will here as soon as I get off of this live. Or maybe we'll comp them here. No, I won't do that to them without their permission. So, yeah, I do. I still use it, Jared. I have been working with Batch. The issue, Jared, for me, and this is just being whatever, transparent, that word. I'm just being transparent. It's like, oh, trust me, I'm honest. God, I don't know. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to throw that in there, but honestly, I use it to comp all the time. And with Batch Leads, the app just isn't as powerful as I want it. And so they're working on some things that I think that they can implement to make it better, but it's very easy to comp properties on the fly in PropStream. And you can still pull lists. You can still do amazing things. So I think if you're not in those non-disclosure states, if you're in other states that have the disclosure and have all the comps, I don't think life's changed too much for you. Having the sold comps really helps out because it's the most accurate data. But you can piece it together. You can put it together pretty well. I'm not sure where they got rid of it. It's a bummer. Will you need real comp for access to MLS data in the future? I don't know what real comp is. Do you know what real comp is?
No.
I don't know. Listen, these are great questions, Earl. I've got Evo coming in. He's the data guy. I don't know. We're gonna talk about all things going on with MLS data in the future. What it even looks like. How do you get a license for it, and how often is it updated? And is it is it gonna go away here? Is it like just going to disappear here on all platforms? It's not what I heard, but we're going to get into the nitty gritty. How many leads per text are you getting? I have no idea, Paul. I have no idea. I would have to ask Jackie. Hold on. How many leads per texts? That is a wild question. Let me ask her. Let's see if we can call her. Let's call her live. Let's call her live.
I think we answered this last week. Pretty sure you called her live last time.
Didn't I call her live last time?
Yeah, we talked about that last.
Oh, you weren't here last week. Hey, Jackie. Hey, you are live in front of thousands and millions of people. How many leads per text are we getting right now? Do you have an idea? I think I might have asked you this last week as well.
No, you didn't. Let's think. So we're sending around 4,000 texts delivered or 3,800. We're getting about 8 leads a week.
There you go. So every 500?
Yeah, that's about accurate.
Okay. Thank you, Jackie. You're the best.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Boom. There you go. There you go, Paul. 1 out of 500 texts to get a lead. And then from there, you got to get a lot of leads from text to get it closed, because a lot of people are just wanting comps. A lot of people just want to do evaluations. So there you go. 1 out of 500. Hey, Brent, after a year of fighting to get a deal under contract, I finally got one under contract this morning. Mark.
Ooh.
Okay, now listen, here's the deal. You got it under contract. We got to get it closed. We got to get it closed, right? Get that. You got to be loud right now, brother. Well, depending on your strategy. I mean, if you're going to flip it, just get it close that deal yourself and rock and roll. If you're going to wholesale it, go crazy, brother. You need to go and find, get it in front of as many cash buyers, investors as possible so that you can get the most out of that deal. Congratulations. I'm going to ring the bell. A little premature. I'm going to ring the bell just because I'm excited for you, and you got it done after all that fighting. So let me see if I can figure out this thing. Yeah, this thing sounds weird. I think we might have broken it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get a new bell, I guess. Samantha B asks, I'm a Wholesaling Inc. student. Lauren Hardy, virtual wholesaling. That's fantastic. Just closed my first deal of $5,000 and did it with a sub-2 student, Miles Barrios. Been watching for over a year now. So happy to grow with you guys. Samantha, congratulations on closing your first deal. Lauren Hardy is an incredible coach. Sub-2 student, Miles, you are incredible. Great job. This is the essence of this business. This is squatting up, guys. You don't have to do this alone. Congratulations, Samantha B. That is awesome.
Way to squat up.
That's wild. Squat up. There you go. Awesome. 5 minutes, guys. In 5 minutes, we're going to bring Evo on. And we're going to grill him. Just did my first. There it is. Awesome. Just did my same Samantha B. Yep. Yep. Awesome. 10K assignment. Got 5 and 5. So both people made 5,000 each. That's fantastic, Samantha. Laura, I am in San Diego where even the ugliest houses are worth over $1 million. What can I offer them to make it a deal for both of us? That is case by case, Laura. You really want to look and see what is there more potential on this lot? Okay. Can you add that extra little, what we would call guest house? I think you guys call it carriage houses or something. Can you add something there to increase the value? Can you bulldoze this house and it's worth a lot? Like you can get up to like 90% of value. You can almost get up to 100% retail value. Not obviously compared to fixed up ones, but I would literally, Laura, just look at what properties in similar condition have sold for. Almost every single time in your market, they're sold cash. So anything that you get, people are going to be hot for. So look for the property, similar condition, sold cash in the last 90 days, and you win. Just push it to that value. And then from there, just build in what you want to make. If you want to make 20, 30, 40K, then you have to subtract that off of what those sold. That's your offer price. Get it to the property owner and sell it. But even if it's close, I would lock it up, Laura, and put it in front of your buyers and get it sold. Even if it's tighter, you're still gonna get it through and get it done, and it's still gonna be very profitable. Andrew, you guys are awesome. Can you tell us what are the 3 best ways to find cash buyers, other wholesalers, and private money? Andrew, this is all laid out in the cash buyer pack, ttpinsider.com, ttpinsider.com. We pulled lists from PropStream. Right, we see what are the cash buyers. They have those in PropStream. That's ttpdata.com. We pull them we go right on Zillow, and we look for all of the real estate agents that are representing flip properties. So these are properties that are vacant. They look gorgeous. They're staged. They're fantastic. We go on LinkedIn. We find everybody in the area that says they're a real estate investor, say that they're a general contractor, say that they are a wholesaler, say that they are private money, all those things. And private money is easy, bro. Just Google it. Google it or post to any local Facebook groups in that market and just ask, hey, I need money. Who's the best private money lender? And then see who responds and see how many people press that like and thumbs up and smile and whatever button or agree with it. And that's typically somebody that you want to work with. Any other thoughts there, Ref?
No, I think social media to find buyers, it's one of the best channels, and it's the fastest channel. Like time consumption, and you can run lists of people who have paid cash over the last year and whatnot. It gets a little bit more technical, but for the sake of just being fast on the deal, I mean that's your best bet.
Awesome, awesome. Can you wholesale to a conventional buyer? No. Andreas, no. It has to be a cash buyer. Let me say this again: cash buyers only. Mortgage companies will only lend money with the owner, with the seller and the buyer, with the actual person on title. Okay, you're not on title. If you're on title, absolutely. If you want to buy and close on it, yes. Lenders will not pay a wholesale fee. They don't want to see a wholesale fee. They won't do it. They simply won't do it. Cash buyers only.
That's a wholesale strategy. So you
Yep.
you buy
Talk to
it,
me.
you come in, you buy it, take it down. It's under your name. Then you can put it up on the MLS or sell it to a conventional buyer.
And so
Yeah,
and
you got to own it first.
and sell it for top
Yeah.
tippity top dollar.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because you got the biggest buyers database in the world right there. Right? It's literally exposed to the whole world once you put it on the MLS.
Mom and pop with the loan.
Yep. But you got to pay a commission for that. You got to pay to play there. Chris, BB, great to see you, brother. In Ohio, is Ohio a good state to wholesale in? Someone told me it's hard here and that I can get in trouble if I don't close on the deal. Need help. We'll look into any kind of restrictions there, but I mean, if you close on the deal, find somebody. You should be able to close on every deal, guys. You should be able to have a financial partner that you simply say, find anybody in your market. This is not difficult. I'm telling you, it might be scary, but it is absolutely essential. And you go and you say, if I find this deal, will you be my money person? We split this deal. The answer will be yes in every market. Chris, I have phenomenal students in Ohio that are absolutely crushing it. So I don't like what I heard and what I hear. Call the title companies that do wholesale transactions and ask them, how do I do this right? Seriously. Jared's texting me now. Jared's on the live and he's asking. Got it. Yep. I got you, Jared. I'll call you after this, bud. There you go. I've had a lot of students reaching out now. I feel we're going to get on this. But we've got Evo. Important. Evo is coming on the show. Does somebody want to go grab him? And we'll get this thing going. This is going to be exciting. I want you guys to send in some questions that you have. Any questions that you have. Alejandro has a nice list of it. So let's get this in here. I'm going to scoot over and welcome to the show,
he is.
Evo Dragunov. Here we go. Batch services, batch leads, batch driven, batch skip tracing. Here we go.
Batch data, yeah.
Batch data. That was the one I forgot. Yeah, that's it. So,
The smartest
thank you for
to all
being
good
on the
in the
show
world.
again. Obviously, the camera is not tall enough to get all of you, but that's fine. That's fine. It makes me look, I'm full screen here, so I get the whole thing. There we go. All right. So, Evo, what happened? What is happening in the world of data that some service providers get MLS data, MLS sold data,
Yep.
MLS expired data, and some don't? What is happening?
So honestly, I don't want to. Thanks for having me here, by the way.
Yep.
I don't want to obviously comment too much on what kind of like obviously PropStream is doing,
Yes.
some of the emails that I've sent. Because
Sure.
honestly, I have my opinions on some of the inner workings. The thing that I can say for certain is the information that we have.
Yeah.
How we're displaying that information. I can talk about this for hours if you have time.
Great. So,
So as far as like the MLS, obviously a lot of people got an email from PropStream saying that they're no longer displaying MLS sold data nationwide.
right.
I've watched a couple of videos on YouTube, just people trying to explain it, make a sense out of it. And what I've kind of gathered is that people have a little bit of a misunderstanding of how the data works,
Okay.
just in general.
Good.
And obviously we can clarify that here.
Yeah, talk to me.
So
What are you seeing as the misconceptions or the mystery that people are having with this?
So there's a couple misconceptions happening with disclosure versus non-disclosure states.
Okay.
Again, the email that PropStream sent, and I've read it, it said that they are losing MLS sold data nationwide. I believe, I'm not certain for sure, it also included expired listings.
Okay.
The way that we get the data is, and again, like back to the PropStream situation, it could have been like a legal issue. It could be like a loss of a data vendor.
Sure.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
And I really don't care.
Let's talk about what we know.
Yeah. So what we know is that there are nationwide data vendors, data providers, a handful of them that we are working with that provide us active, pending, and sold information for the data. Now, some of the misconceptions with the disclosure versus non-disclosure states. There are 12 non-disclosure states.
Mm-hmm.
In those 12 non-disclosure states, you're not going to be able to get sold data exactly what the property is sold for.
Okay.
The information is estimated.
Okay.
It's estimated based on, And again, there's different ways that the people can estimate this data. So there's a couple of data compilers, not even data aggregators, that will that are working to try to solve some of these issues, just in general. Because again, in those non-disclosure states, neither you nor I nor a lot of the different nationwide vendors or providers can't get the data. It's a matter of
Zillow doesn't even have it.
Zillow doesn't have it,
Right.
so it's private information.
Okay.
So unless the owner discloses that information or the buyer or the seller discloses that information, it's not a matter of public record.
Got it.
So in those states, what we do is we basically triangulate the different data points to be able to come up with an estimated value.
Okay.
So for instance, we have all the information regarding the property as far as what the active price was, what the pending price was, the contingent price. We also have the loan type, loan amount, loan interest rates. So we can triangulate an estimated value of what the property sold for. And again,
But that hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed, though.
You've
That
been
hasn't
doing
changed.
this. Everybody's been doing this since the states have been non-disclosure.
Correct.
Got it.
I don't know even from when they've been doing it, but it's been the past 4 or 5 years at least that I've been in the data world.
Yeah.
So nothing has changed, and I verified with some of our data vendors several times actually. Hey, obviously, have there been any, based on the PropStream email? Like, 'cause I would have heard something from our data sources would have changed. The way we ingest and aggregate data would have changed. So just because I haven't heard about it, so I just obviously proactively reached out saying, hey, have you seen any kind of recent MLS regulations, data changes? The two data vendors that I reached out to both said there hasn't been anything, not that I've heard. Let me check obviously with my superiors.
Yep.
Came back saying there hasn't been any kind of recent MLS regulations, changes, or anything. So again, I don't know how.
Do you hear of any? Is this something that we have now, but it's not going to be here in a month? And maybe PropStream, because they were the big guy in our space, kind of they wanted to pull back first because they knew it was going to happen and it's going to trickle down to everybody else. Is there any indication of that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Got it. We've got a ton of questions, by the
Sure.
way, which I think is going to really help to let this conversation breathe.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Perfect.
So, at this point, you guys are, since the beginning of Batch Leads and with PropStream, the sold data in non-disclosure states were basically estimates.
In the non-disclosure states, yes.
Right.
In all of the other states, we have all of the MLS data, active, pending, and sold. The way we've kind of just from the get-go is we've always tried to compile a single record or a single database of property, what we know about the property. So when the property, obviously, we have historical information when, if a property was active or pending or sold. So that's how we're able to triangulate also, I'm not relying even on any external data sources to be able to determine expired listings or failed listings. We can obviously know that through, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
A property was listed, didn't sell for X amount of time, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, whatever you want to, whatever time frame you want to pick, it's an expired listing.
Awesome. What do we have, Hunter? Let's start hitting them with some questions. Jason Harris asks, how can you prove to us within reason that your MLS sold data is accurate? A lot of trusted wholesalers think otherwise. I switched to batch leads. Well, Jason, he is batch leads.
Yep.
So I guess you could say thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you switching over. Obviously, we want to be able to try to provide. So the question is, how can you prove to us?
I think he thinks that you're from PropStream.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
No, he's from
but
batch leads.
the MLS data is accurate. To answer the question, it's a matter of public record. A lot of this information. So unless there was a typo in a county or MLS board, then that's probably the only reason why we would get it wrong.
Cool. I'm in a non-disclosure state, Texas, and Batch Leads has the sale price of my home shown. Batch has good data. There you go. Interesting.
Yep.
There you go. That's for Jared.
And just keep in mind, we have over, I don't know the exact percentage, I don't want to botch it here, but it's something in the 97, 98% of residential properties that we have sold data for. Again, if it's you could be in some situations where we have cash transactions. That's a little bit harder to, because there's, again, you're missing the loan amount, the loan type, the interest rates. So it's harder to come up with an actual estimated value of what the actual property sold for. It's also difficult for any commercial properties, but we don't have to talk about it, just commercial properties here.
Okay.
For residential, you're going to get within 2, 3, 4, 5% of the actual actual selling price.
Yeah.
Which is good enough for obviously for running comparables and doing what you need to do.
Awesome. Addison, how do you reach out to properties on government lists? I have a list of tax delinquents, but moving these properties to PropStream/batch skip is proving tedious and time consuming.
I think I'd have to have a little bit more information on the question. How do you reach out to properties? I mean, you would naturally just upload a property list. Our system would pick it up. It'll standardize the address. It'll match it up to our database and be able to provide to you, additional 30, 40, 50 different data points for that address. I mean, pretty much all of the information we have on that address. I've been in some situations, kind of people asking, so I'm making a little bit of an assumption here, is that some of the government properties, and again, I don't know what state you're in or what list you're pulling exactly, but some of the information is missing, including a property address. I've had some situations where there's just sporadic, just assessor APN numbers and some missing property addresses. So again, I really can't answer your question fully.
Yeah, Addison, here's the answer. Hire a $4 VA. Like literally, make a 15-minute screen, recording of you doing it, 15, 20 minutes of you doing it exactly how you want to do it, and hire a VA to do that. Here's the thing. When you get government lists, it's almost like it's in hieroglyphics. You know what I mean? It's like in a different language that you have to like put to a key, and then you have to figure it out, and then blah, 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 the whole thing. So, yeah, I would just, I would have a VA do it, brother. Yep. Jonathan, I'm in Maryland. Does Batch show expired listing info, or is there another way to get that list without getting MLS access through a realtor?
Absolutely. I don't know if for sure the state. There are a couple of MLS, just regional MLSs that no nationwide data provider has access to, but we have about 99% of all MLSs in the country. So I would assume Maryland is one of those, and if obviously we have it, then yes, we have expired listings. So my answer would be yes, we absolutely have expired listings.
There you go.
There was a couple of just regional MLSs in the Northeast that I think all nationwide providers were missing data from, including PropStream, including us, including all of the MLS aggregators.
Yeah, awesome. Well, they look to improve the cash comps feature in batch leads. The one in PropStream is really good.
Interesting. I mean, feel free to send me information. I'd be happy to kind of look at it, what you mean by improving the cash comps.
How would they send that to you? If they want to take a screenshot and send it to somebody, your team, whatever, to add this to your software, where would they send it?
Usually, if you're like in batch leads, there's a tab on the right side saying, or on the bottom right saying help. There's a, you can reach out to support, let them know, hey, this property address where there's a data discrepancy of some sort. These things do happen. I don't know exactly how you run, cash comps, but we do have a cash comparable. So anything that was purchased through a cash transaction will get displayed. And this is kind of where, cash transactions could also, in our industry at least, signify also cash buyer. It was a hard money loan basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah, awesome.
I don't know if that's kind of like, again, what you're assuming is a cash transaction. I have to look at our logic, but I believe the cash transactions for the use case for real estate includes hard money loans.
Awesome. There you go. Sasha, how are we able to comp on batch leads base plan? I've tried to figure this out. I think this would be the man to ask. Thanks. Sasha Miller.
So with the base plan, you'd have to upload your existing data. You'd go to the properties.
What does that mean?
Upload an existing list that you have.
Okay.
So that's probably, and I'm assuming you don't have the list plan. So based on that assumption, you'd have to go to the properties tab, upload the list. You can, once it's uploaded, in a matter of a couple seconds, you can click on the property, go to the tab, the comparables tab, and you should be good to go.
So on the base plan, you have to upload your own lists? You can't pull lists?
The base plan is just the $39 plan where you can just kind of bring in your own data, and you're not really pulling any lists from us.
Got it. And it's not, so you have to put in, got it. Okay.
Yeah,
once the addresses are in, you can start.
Once the addresses are in,
filtering through it.
You can start filtering it. It's going to be in the properties tab.
Love it. We're going to do 2 more questions for Evo. He is a busy guy. C. Kale TV says, do you think sold MLS data will be pulled off batch leads as well?
It's not for now. No,
Yeah.
it's not. I've checked with, again, going back to, I've verified a lot of this
No
information.
whispers. There's no people in the shadows whispering, hey, you know, let's not let these wholesalers get our realtor data.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Because I think there's a lot of fear that like NAR or, you know, which essentially runs all these MLSs are like, why are we selling the data to these, you know, 7 companies and letting them go free, you know, or 700 companies probably.
They're making a lot of money though.
Yeah, they are.
Licensing this data. I mean, let's be honest. No, there isn't any. Obviously, we're not going to stop displaying MLS data.
Awesome. There you go. One more. Oh, there you go, Ralph Pena. Exactly how tall are you? Well, let's see. I'm 5'9", and I've got some big shoes on.
Yep.
And so let's call it 6'4", 6'5".
6'4".
Yeah, there you go.
The camera
There
was a
you go,
little bit
Ralph.
low.
Yeah, there it is, Ralph. And I'm not joking. I have these ridiculous shoes on that make me way taller. Look at those. These are the Alexander McQueen's here. And so in real life, I'm like here. Look at that. Look at that. See? So he's a big, tall guy, and I really appreciate you on here, Evo. That was really awesome. Thank you. And we're going to be, guys, look for the tomorrow, Evo and I are going to sit down, and we're going to really dig into this for the podcast. And it'll be on this channel. Make sure that you see that, and I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty, the differences between batch and PropStream. Because let's be honest, guys, I've used PropStream. I've talked about PropStream. I've loved PropStream. It's difficult for me to get an email from a company that says that the people that are in the 12 states that you coach in, you're not going to be able to help them out as fast and easy on comping properties. So there's got to be an alternative. And, you know, I think Pace Morby put it the best. It's like you don't grocery shop at the same grocery store every time. You go to Whole Foods, you go to Sprouts, you go to Safeway, you go to, what are some East Coast, what's something that's in Minnesota? What's a grocery store in Minnesota? Whatever. Doesn't matter. You guys get the point.
Bashes.
So you get, there's different things in different ones. If you have the budget for only one and you're in a non-disclosure state, you should be looking into batch leads. If not, then test out both, guys. I mean, I'm not here to tell you do this and do that and whatever else. Test everything. Just like the question before on, do I go into a virtual market? Is it tough in Ohio? All of these things. You don't know until you test it. And the beautiful thing is we're going to be doing this business forever. So test these things out. See which ones you want to use the best. We've got TTP data with PropStream that we've been promoting forever. And we've got batchleads.io/TTP or whatever it is to get you access to that. So test it out. See which one you guys want to use. Listen, both of them are owned by incredible people. Both of them have incredible people working at them. Both of them want us to succeed. So it's not a versus. It's not an aggressive thing. It's not some sort of crazy, battle between the two of them. Figure out which one you want to use and go for it. This should be the least, get into it. You need to use one of them, that's for sure. But get into it and see which one you want to use. All right? There you go. That's my stance on it. Because I use both of them. I literally have right here, look at this. I've got the PropStream app here. Okay, you can see it right there. And then I've got the Batch Leads app right there. Boom. Use them both. There you go. Can we all agree how beautiful Alejandra is? Let's put her on camera, by the way. It was Alejandra's birthday yesterday. There we go. Happy birthday to Alejandra. She's officially legal to drink alcohol now.
Sasha,
for the 8th time. Yeah,
Sasha's really
Happy
good.
Birthday.
Sasha's really good about getting her questions
Yeah,
in
she
through the
does.
pipeline, man. She's
Sasha's
good.
getting a lot of love, for sure.
I like your strategy,
Girl
Sasha.
power up in here.
I like it.
Girl power.
I get it. I love it. I feel like more and more incredible female wholesalers have been popping on here and participating, and I love that. Women have a distinct advantage in the real estate business. It's not even close. The trust that women build is 10 times faster and 10 times stronger than men in most situations. It's just it's a huge advantage. Anyway, do you remember your first subject to deal? Yeah, I wholesale them all. I don't hold properties. My thing is, Colleen, with sub 2, if you want to learn that, Pace is the man. Pace is the guy. You go into that. If that's your passion, if that's what you want to do, go for it. Go for it, Colleen. But Pace is the guy. I am not the subject to guy. I'm the guy that'll tell you to focus on ugly houses and big checks. And you can do that with sub 2. It's just a lot more process, a lot more paperwork, a lot more. It's a whole different deal. All right. But if you're going to do it, get coaching on it, because you don't want to screw that up. For real. For real, for real, for real. You don't want to screw that up. But yeah, I remember my first subject to deal, and I wholesaled it to Pace years ago, and several since then. So, Thomas, when talking about follow-up, are you talking about homeowners that thought about selling but aren't ready quite yet? I'm assuming you're not following up with the ones that aren't interested. That's right. Yeah, true lead follow-up is people that have an interest in selling. It just depends. Hot lead follow-up is they want to sell in the next 2 weeks, in the next 30 days, maybe. That's a hot lead. A warm lead is you still pre-qualified them. You still know the condition of the property, their timeline to sell, their motivation to sell, and hopefully the price that they want. They just need longer to either make a decision or till their tenants are out, or until the probate's through, or the inheritance, or they're just dragging their feet until right before foreclosure or tax default or whatever else. So, yeah. We having fun back there? Yeah. All right, I won't worry about it. So there you go, Thomas. Yeah. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Be relentless. You're not going to lose deals from excess follow up. Cato Disc asks, I have a prospect with a problem. They all do. Owner died 3 years ago and heirs can't agree. These are the stickiest ones. I had this conversation on Wholesale Hotline on Monday on what was the toughest deals that I've ever had it done. It's always inherited properties. About 6 heirs involved, tied up in probate. Is there a way to solve this problem or just have to wait it out? Yeah, I mean, it has to go through probate. So there's... Who are you going to get to sign the contract? Nobody owns it yet. So you got to see who the personal representative's going to be, who's going to actually be in charge of making the decision, and it has to go through probate. So just see how far in the process they are, and just follow up. And you know, my specialty is working with people that are inheriting a property or going through the probate process. I want to make this as smooth for you as possible, and just be there for them, help them out, whatever they need. If they need somebody to change the locks, if they need somebody to help them clean it out, if they need help with the landscaping, if they're getting code violations on these things, if the buildings falling apart, or it's not safe, help them out. You know, do the extra thing with people that are in probate. It goes a long way, but make sure that you have some sort of commitment with them. You know, you could put it under contract. It might not be with make sure that it's with a personal representative or somebody that's going to eventually own the property. But at least having them sign something, at least gives some sort of like further commitment that they're going to do business with you. All right. LeSean Williams, are there additional monthly fees for the marketing tools when using PropStream, Deal Machine, or batch skip tracing? Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean, with all of them, there's built-in profit streams for the companies, right? So PropStream has their skip tracing. They also restrict the amount of addresses that you have to 10,000. If you want more than that, you can upgrade your plans. And all of them, you can upgrade your plans. But LeSean, if you're just starting, the base plans will work. except for, batch leads, it sounds like I would go for that $89 one, not the $39 one, right? Or it's 39 plus 59. It's like $100 for batch leads. I would get both of those. I wouldn't just get the base one if you're really going hard and heavy on this thing. But batch skip tracing, LeSean, the biggest, kind of operating cost there is going to be the skip tracing. Is going to be the 12 to 14 cents that you're going to spend skip tracing that list and continuing to do that.
Hey, Brent, on that note, man, I want to make a comment.
Yep.
For that extra $50 and getting the data for the MLS nationwide, I mean, agents, my realtors pay $400 just to have MLS access for the county. You know what I mean? So like, it's a no-brainer, I think. So tap into that. Definitely tap into that. Especially if they have that leverage all over the place.
Love it. What do we got? Got a lot. It's cruising today. REI Trainer, can you slap a lien on a property to get paid a wholesale fee from a conventional buyer? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I would talk to the title company. I would see, I mean, you would have to get the seller to agree to the lien, which could get hairy. That could be real tricky. I mean, that could be your workaround with a conventional buyer, but, first of all, the conventional buyer, you have to have a really nice property. Like the bank is going to do the appraisal and they're going to do an inspection and they're going to make sure that it passes the inspection. And don't even try this with an FHA or VA buyer. I mean, they literally send in their own home inspector to make sure that everything's perfect. I just think that you're doing too much work. You know what I mean? Like there's so much cash in the market right now. Like we're not at the point where it's like, oh, there's no cash buyers. We need to go conventional. If you've got a really clean property, just close on the deal and put it back on the market. You can go, yeah, okay, seller, here's the deal. I'm going to sell your property to a traditional buyer. They're going to go through all the traditional things like inspections and appraisals and all this other stuff that you wanted to avoid, but let's not avoid that. That's no big deal anyway, right? You didn't really care about that. Let's just go through a regular process, and I'm going to get paid this exact amount of this lien that I'm going to slap on your property, and you're going to sign off on, and that's how much I'm going to get paid to. That's rough. That is a rough conversation there, right?
It's definitely gray, to say the least.
I mean, if that's the case, I mean, why wouldn't they just list it with a realtor? You know what I'm saying? Just stick to cash buyers. There's so much. If it's a smoking deal, people should be pounding down your door. And if it's a really nice property, take that dude down and put it on the market. You can do it. There's way better options there. Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Joshua Deshaun Smith. I closed my first deal for $3,500 yesterday at age 14. There we go.
14.
There we go.
Insane. Might as well have been $1 million.
Yeah, $3,500 to a 14-year-old.
Congratulations, Joshua.
Congratulations. Well done. That's incredible.
Well done.
14 years old. Have we had another 14-year-old? Yeah. Didn't we have somebody else post that? Post that they're doing that? Listen, the world's wide open when you have the internet, when you have YouTube, when you have ttpinsider.com. It is bananas. Think about where he's going to be at 20, 30. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Awesome. Guys, if you are getting value out of this channel and you have not subscribed, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. Hit the notification button. If the notifications aren't turned on in your settings, make sure that you do that so that every single day I can creep into your life and bring a lot of positivity and optimism, and most importantly, because, whatever, people can have that outside of this business, but I'm going to bring you the instruction that you need, the step-by-step action plan every single day We come out with content on this channel to make you successful faster. John TTP says, Brent, I'm having a hard time locating a owner for an abandoned house. Any idea on where I can go? Yes, John, here's what I would say. If you are skip tracing the owner and the owner doesn't have any phone numbers, or the phone numbers are bad, you need to find a relative. All right. I would go onto Upwork. I would go onto Fiverr, and I would find somebody that has a TLO account. Okay. That can do a full background search on that. Trust me, there's a ton of VAs that have access to this because attorneys pay for it and they use it as their own side business. But you can go in there and TLO account and put that address in and get every phone number, every relative, everything, and that should give you an opportunity to either find a mailing address and or a phone number of somebody that can put you in touch with the right person. And then I would just see where the property taxes are going. Where's the mailing address for this property? If it's the same, if the tax mailing address is same as the address, then you got to dig. If not, then skip trace the mailing address and find it that way. Or see if it's ever been listed. Sometimes these properties have been listed but expired, and there's a real estate agent that has the contact info, or at least have a conversation with you.
I have two more ideas too.
Yeah.
Talk to the neighbors.
Yep.
Talk to neighbors, see if they know anybody who owned that property, who used to live there, what's the history behind it. Talk to them. And then the second one, Spokio.com has given us good results whenever we do like one-offs like that on skip tracing. You'll end up with like social media profiles and stuff like that. You can reach out to them that way, emails and whatnot from those data sources. But it's Spokio.com too. So
love it. Love it, love it, love it. Monet Rose, is there an alternative way to find leads without driving for dollars and looking on the MLS listing sites like Redfin, etc.? Yeah, there is a ton of ways to pull lists with the two resources that I talked about, PropStream and Batch Leads. If you don't have those, Monet, then you're going to have to either find somebody that does, that'll squat up with you, or drive for dollars. And listen, you could do virtual driving for dollars. You can hire somebody to do virtual driving for dollars for a few bucks an hour. We have a virtual driving for dollars 2.0 here on this channel that you can check out. But if you're not looking for, if you don't want to look on MLS sites like Redfin and driving for dollars, then you're going to have to pull from somebody that pulls lists. I mean, you could go to your county. You can get a list of the pre-foreclosures. You can get a list of the inherited properties. You can get a list of the tax defaults. You can get a list of code violations, water shutoff, all that from each city and county. But man, it's a lot of work. Oh my gosh. Especially during COVID times. I mean, it's like they put up barrier after barrier after barrier. So it's a lot of work. I would just rather have a resource to do that. ttpdata.com or batchleads.io if you're in those non-disclosure states. Jack, I'm 21 in Austin, Texas area. Just dropped out of nursing school to pursue real estate wholesaling. What should be my first steps to becoming successful in wholesaling? Number one, go to ttpinsider.com and sign up to be an insider for real. For real, because you're gonna get way more instruction, free instruction and tools in there than I can give you in the next 12 minutes. So number one, find an ugly house. Number two, make contact with that property owner. Number three, pre-qualify that property owner based on the condition of the property, timeline to sell, motivation to sell, and their price. Okay? Number four, get that property under contract. Number five, reach out to everybody that has done a flip, everybody that is buying properties cash in your area, anybody that's in fix and flip investing groups on Facebook, wholesaling groups in Facebook, real estate investing in Facebook, and reach out and just say, hey, I have this phenomenal deal in Austin. Did he say Austin? It was Austin, right? Yeah, in Austin. Let me know if you are interested in the details and get it sold. Boom, boom, boom. Ugly houses, Jack, and big checks. Ugly houses, big checks. Alejandro's going to put together a specialty T-shirt with those initials. But yeah, that's it. Don't overcomplicate this, Jack. And then all of those steps should be in the basket of squatting up. Squatting up is the basket of our business. That's what holds all these efforts inside of it. But you need to not be alone. You need to not be the only person in your friend group and in your family that understands the word escrow, earnest money, wholesaling, cash buy, like all of these things. You need to surround yourself with people in this business. You need to surround yourself with people doing more in this business than you are right now. That's what's going to pull you up. Okay? So that's what you need. The basket is squatting up and everything else fits inside that. So find people. Guys, if you're in Austin, Texas, squat up with Jack here in the comments or in the surrounding area. Yeah, squat up with Jack here and let's get going. This guy just dropped out of nursing school. He's pursuing his dreams. He's going to be an absolute superstar. So help him out. Help him get there.
You made a comment at the beginning of the live, right? You were talking about difference of what we want to happen to what must happen, right? If you're dropping out of school to go do this, this must happen. Wrap your head around that idea. Anything that needs to be done, it's got to get done. If that means you going out there and start driving the neighborhood so you can get familiarized with the price points of the properties and the activities in the area and whatnot, do that. That's also going to mean that you start going to real estate investor associations and you freak out whenever you're about to walk in because you don't feel like you don't fit in that space yet. That's a load of crap. You do. Go in there. That must happen. You got to do that. So are you interested in making this work or are you committed to it? Ask yourself that question.
Interest is interesting, but commitment, that's what gets things done, bro. Oh, yeah. I love it.
That's that fire in that belly that you keep talking about. Yeah.
That's the electricity in your feet. Yeah. Jose, if you get a pocket listing from an agent, do you use the agent's contract or yours? Typically the agent's. Yeah, if they've already got a listing agreement, they are going to be required by the broker to use the purchase agreement, the state-specific realtor contract. So that's fine. It's fine. No big deal. Lock it up. Nice. Was that too quick of an answer? Jason Ayers asks, how do you avoid bad zip codes in virtual markets? I tend to put properties under contract that make sense, but no one likes the area. Raph, do you want to kind of touch on this? You have more experience in this. Jason, just to let you know, I virtually wholesale, but I partner with established companies that already have buyers lists. They already have the list. They already know which areas are the best for it. So what would you suggest, Raph?
There's heat maps, and you can start mapping out heat maps, right? So you go to, for example, we look at Maricopa County. You can pull a search, and it's a basic search of single-family residences. We do it through ListSource just because we've been doing it through that, for years. So we'll go through ListSource, and it'll actually tell you, absentee owner homes or how many homes have sold. So you start looking at those numbers, and you can pick out the top 10 zip codes, right? One thing that we target is the top 10 zip codes. We leave out anything else. Why? Because we know that activity is happening on those top 10. And yeah, I'm not saying there's not opportunity in the other ones, but you want to go where the meat is, meat in the potatoes.
That's it.
Yeah, do a simple search in ListSource and look for the most active top 10 zip codes that you're or whatever market you're looking at. That's where I would start.
Awesome. There you go. Heat map. Brianna, do you have a script or notes on what to say to agents for their almost expired listings? Well, here's the thing. Talking to agents about their almost expired listings, like you're trying to, I assume what you're saying is how do we get them to take a significant discount before the listing is over? Just have I don't have a specific script for it because it's, I don't want you to sound too scripted on this. It's a conversation. Hey, listen, I see that you've had this property on the market for a while. I'd love to put in an offer on it. This is what I'm thinking. Would your seller consider this? They've had offers, Brianna. Any property in this day and age has had offers. Have they been rejected? Did they not want to go with that offer at the time? You know, having those conversations. Agents don't want you to try to sell them on working with you. They feel like they're like, get away from me. No. They want to sell that property, but they want you to be confident, certain, and likable. Certainty and likability. So you literally just call them up and ask them about the property. Ask them, you know, I know that you've probably had some offers on it. Is there a price that they won't go below? If I come in at, you know, $175,000, this thing's listed at $290,000. Are they even going to consider this offer? I'd love to get you a written offer, but I don't want to waste your time. No, they would never consider it. We've had offers at $245. I currently have an offer at $255, $265. They want as high as price. They want to get as close to $280 as possible. If you can come in at $280, that'll work. Great. You can send in that offer if you want. I'm not. I'm just not. I just know. You know, you have to put in a certain amount of contracts or have that. I mean, you literally put in a contract just verbally to get an idea. Now, you can take a shot. But if they have other contracts, if they have other offers, you're just spinning your wheels. Well, I'll be the backup. Great, be the backup. Do that. That could be a strategy. But there's so much inconsistencies there. So just be you, Brianna. Just call them up and say, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I can pay. Will that work? Be quick with it. Hey guys, Andrew asks, hey guys, what is the best way to get in contact with a cash buyer, other wholesalers? And you already asked that. Yep. Already asked that one. Peace asks, any advice for a virtual wholesaler who chose a market that is apparently super competitive and most sellers who answer have already been contacted like crazy? Keep going. Until you talk to 1,000 of them, keep going. Seriously. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Because you're going to talk to a lot of people. Real Estate Rod says, hey, Brent, you're the best, bro. So why doesn't Batch Leads have driving for dollars as an option? Batch Leads does have driving for dollars as an option. It's called Batch Driven. It's a different app. Yeah, I don't know. I think that they're trying to bring them together, but it's two separate businesses. It's two separate teams. So I think eventually they will, probably, Real Estate Rod. I think it's a smart idea. I don't know what's stopping them. Maybe some technical things, you know what I mean? But yeah, you're the best, Rod. Get out there. Get some deals for me. Give me a massive deal this week. Hey, Brent, should I go virtual? Amit asks, hey, Brent, should I go virtual because my whole county has around 240,000 properties, and I've seen cities out of state have that many? I've done deals, but I want to do more and consistently. 240,000 properties is a lot of properties. I mean, you're talking there's probably 15 to 24,000 deals. 15,000 to 24,000 distressed properties based on national statistics in your market that you can go after. Amit, if you do 50 of them this year, you're in the top 1% income earners in the world. You know what I'm saying? So should I go virtual? Test it. That's a beautiful thing about TTP. That's a beautiful thing about picking up the phone. You can pull a list right now of 300 to 500 addresses and call them in a different market and see how that feels. See if there's opportunities there. You know, should you test? Yeah, test for sure. Absolutely. One more question. We got one more minute here and we are done. No, Kellen. Listen, I used to make calls at 7 a.m. to expired and canceled listings as a real estate agent. I mean, people were getting calls at 6 a.m., if you could believe it. 9 a.m. is fine. 9 a.m., sun's out. You know, my rule is, you know, if the sun's out, it's fair play. But if you can only call in the evenings, then call in the evenings. I wouldn't call after a certain. I wouldn't call past 8 o'clock. And I never called in the evenings. Never, ever, ever called in the evenings because, one, I would just be too distracted. Two, I got it done in the morning. So rock and roll, 9 a.m., get it done, Kellen. All right? Now, just to recap, look at Rich Wholesalers there. You can see it behind me. Focus. For the next 12 months, if you are building a real estate wholesaling business, focus on just ugly properties, big checks. Number two is survive the 90 days. Survive it. This is going to be the most mentally challenging thing you've ever done. I don't care if you've run marathons and Ironmans and all that stuff. That's all internal. That's all what's going on here, right? When you got all this external stuff, all of this rejection, all of this uncertainty, all of this I don't know what I don't know over the next 90 days, you need to be listening to incredible podcasts and audibles in your car. No music. You need to be reading at least 10 pages of a great business book every day. You need to be squatting up with incredible people in your market that are doing incredible things. And make it a real business. Have your own corporation. It is America's financial hack. It is. It's all set up. The government wants companies. They want companies so that there are more goods and services for the population. Then it provides jobs, right? It provides jobs and income. And your employees get taxed. Real business. That's it. Bring it up, guys. Bring it up here. We love you guys. What an incredible 2 hours that we spent with you guys. Thank you for the great questions. It's always great. We are here every Wednesday unless otherwise noted. I've got Rafael Cortez. I've got Matt Hill. I've got Aaron. And I've got Alejandra over here sneaking in to say goodbye to all of you guys. We love you. And I encourage you to talk to people every single day. And remember, keep your house clean. Protect your health. Increase your value to the world, and you're going to live a fantastic life. Till next time. See ya.